Okay, welcome to the second half of chapter 19, and in this video we're going to learn the imperfect forms of sum, eo, VOLÄ, and NŌLÄ, plus their prefixes. And thankfully these forms will be much more regular and therefore easier than the weird forms you had to learn in the present tense. So present tense was as weird as it gets. Okay, so first we have the form of the verb to be. It went sum es est, sumus estis sunt, way back in the present. But now it's going to go eram, eras, erat, eramus, eratus, erant. So, and this means was or were being. They were being happy, or something like that. Okay, so say it again. Eram, eras, erat, eramus, eratus, erant. Notice that this is really easy. It's just MST, mustus, NT. Eram, eras, erat, eramus, eratus, erant. How nice. Okay, and then again, you remember we have this prefix POT, which means able, and it's just going to tack right onto that, nice and easy. POTERAM, POTERAS, and so on. And there are absolutely no changes. Notice that 3 of the forms get a macron, however. Eras, eramus, and eratus. So that's what it's going to look like. POTERAM, POTERAS, POTERAT, POTERAMUS, POTERATUS, POTERANT. I was able, you were able, he, she, it was able, we were able, y'all were able, they were able. Or you could say could. So it goes POTERAM, I was able, you were able, he, she, it was able, we were able, y'all were able, they were able. And so say it yourself. POTERAM, POTERAS, POTERAT, POTERAMUS, POTERATUS, POTERANT. And say it without me. Next we have VOLÄ and NŌLÄ, to want and to not want. This is how it's going to go. It's really easy. VOLÄBAM, VOLÄBAS, VOLÄBAT, VOLÄBAMUS, VOLÄBATUS, VOLÄBANT. VOLÄBAM, VOLÄBAS, VOLÄBAT, VOLÄBAMUS, VOLÄBATUS, VOLÄBANT. And notice again that a second macron occurs in the standard 3 forms that always get the extra macron. Because you don't have a macron before T or NT ever. It just doesn't happen. That's too terse and short of an ending sound to admit of a macron before it. And same with M. M could get a macron before it, but it doesn't in reality, just because when you have an M, people just go right for the M and don't hang on to the A. Okay, so translation was or were wanting. So say it from memory. VOLÄBAM, VOLÄBAS, VOLÄBAT, VOLÄBAMUS, VOLÄBATUS, VOLÄBANT. And you do it yourself from memory. Great, and hopefully that's what you said. And now, for the negatives, you're just going to turn the V to an N and put a macron over the O. That's all you're going to do. Everything else is exactly the same. NŌLÄBAM, NŌLÄBAS, NŌLÄBAT, NŌLÄBAMUS, NŌLÄBATUS, NŌLÄBANT. Again, there's a macron on the standard 3 forms, and the translation is was or were not wanting. So say it yourself. NŌLÄBAM, NŌLÄBAS, NŌLÄBAT, NŌLÄBAMUS, NŌLÄBATUS, NŌLÄBANT. And now you say it without me. Great. The verb to go. You remember last chapter, in chapter 15, the present tense looked like this. Eo is it, imus itis eunt, and sum est, sumus estis sunt. Now here in chapter 19, the imperfect is much more regular. I can actually separate out purple stem from black ending, unlike in the previous sense where things were just so wild that you couldn't do it at all. Eram, I was being. Eras, you were being. Erat, it was being. Eramus, we were being. Eratus, y'all were being. Erant, they were being. ÜBAM, I was going. ÜBAS, you were going. ÜBAT, he was going. ÜBAMUS, we were going. ÜBATUS, y'all were going. And ÜBANT, they were going. Obviously, the stem is perfectly regular. You get the macron in the three forms in the middle there, and that's it. Or so let's say it. ஈBAM, I was going. ஈBAS, you were going. ஈBAT, he, she, it was going. ஈBAMOS, ஈBATIS, y'all were going. ஈBANT, they were going. And the translation, of course, is was or were going. All right, you say it a second time. And the translation, was or were going. All right, you say it a second time. All right, and say it a third time. All right, just like last chapter, as we had prefixes, 7 different alternate forms based on the prefixes, here we're going to have the same thing. Was or were being is the verb to be, and was or were going is the verb to go. But if we add on ERAM, then they were being present versus they were going toward. Now, sometimes people leave off the being. Sometimes they just say they were present. But that's not technically totally correct, as you'll find out in chapter 21. It's a little better to say was or were being present, because that implies ongoing. We'll have another past tense which is not ongoing, and that could be confused with this one unless you say being, because the being implies ongoingness or incompleteness. Another way you could translate it is I used to be present. All right, aderas, you were being present. Aderat, he, she, or it was being present. Aderamos, we were being present. Aderatis, y'all were being present. And aderant, they were being present. Ad ībam, I was going. Ad ības, you were going. Ad ībāt, he, she, or it was going. Ad ībāmus, we were going. Ad ībātis, y'all were going. And ad ībant, they were going. And of course, notice the similarities. It's completely regular all the way through. So how would we say was or were being absent or was or were departing? Logically. All right, what about was or were going out? What would that be? Okay, was going out of, was exiting. Exibat, exibamos. What about was or were going back? Redibamos, we were going back, we were returning. Redibam, I was returning. Redibant, they were returning. All right, what about was or were going forward, was progressing? Good. Prodibas, you were progressing. Prodibant, they were progressing. Prodibamos, we were progressing. All righty, so you've got the hang of it now. All right, try these. Give me the English translation. The second column, of course, will be harder, but now you have 2 tenses, so some of them will be present and some of them will be imperfect. Got to figure out which one is which. All right, so stop it and start it when you're ready to see the answers. And the answers? Notice that going toward is often translated as approaching. Ad eis, you approach. What about the Latin form? So stop the video and write the Latin form, 1 word in every answer. Unless we have something like whether doubtful, that might be 2 words. Or surely, that might be 2 words. All right, stop the video and start it when you're ready to see the answers. And the answers? Alrighty, so if you could do the second column here, then you are cruising. Now, for irregular drills. So, this time, there are 2 possible tenses, because now we have the imperfect tense. So you have to tell me which one of these 2 tenses each of these areas goes, and you'll see the answer by where I put it. Okay, so which one is this? Well, you can look at the color, but if you didn't know the color, obviously it's present. Whereas this one is imperfect. Present. Imperfect, present, imperfect, present, that's the weird one, and imperfect. So hopefully you could do this pretty easily, and that's the way it looks. Was or were blanking and is blanking, or just blanks. And notice also, I wanted to point out to you that in the imperfects you can have these passive forms. I was being wanted, you were being wanted, he, she, it was being wanted, we were being wanted, y'all were being wanted, they were being wanted. And then for the negatives, NŌLÄBAR, NŌLÄBARIS, NŌLÄBATUR, NŌLÄBAM or NŌLÄBAMINI, NŌLÄBANTUR. So passive is possible in the imperfect tense. I have never seen a passive of NŌLO, NŌNWIS, NŌNWOLT, NŌLUMUS, NŌNWOLTUS, NŌLUNT. I've never seen that. So maybe it's possible, but I don't know about it. Neither have I seen a passive of WOLO. All right. So see if you can do it yourself without color. Tell me what each one of these tenses are before I move it to its correct place. All right, hopefully you could do that without much trouble. And again, the passives are possibilities. Okay, so for this, once again, I'm asking you to write the requested form. The left column will be all imperfects. The right column will be mixed presents and imperfects. So stop the video and give these a try and start it again when you're ready. And here are the answers. Ha ha ha, notice I put in a passive form there and you were being wanted. Ris. It would have been VOLÄBAS, but now it's VOLÄBARIS. And where else did I put a passive form? Over here. VOLÄBAMINI. Y'all were being wanted. So notice that that can happen once in a while. I might try to trick you. All right, so let's keep going. Okay, for this next one, you're going to be answering questions in the natural way they would be answered. So if I ask, am I blanking? You are going to respond with the correlative natural answer, you are blanking. And if I ask, are you blanking? You're going to respond with, I am blanking, right? And then if I ask, are we blanking? You're going to respond, y'all are blanking. And if I ask, are y'all blanking? You're going to respond, we are blanking. So first and second person are correlative. Whatever one you ask a question in, you respond with the other. Down in the third person, of course, you just answer with the exact same thing that was asked. Is he blanking? He is blanking, or isn't blanking. And are they blanking? They are blanking, or aren't blanking. So that's how you answer a question. Just wanted to bring that to your attention. All right, so give this left column a try. It will be all imperfects, and I want you to answer each question confirmatively. So if I asked, do they not want something, you should respond, yes, they do not want that. And if I asked, are they able, you respond, yes, they are able. All right, so stop the video and start it again when you're ready to see the answers. And here are the answers. Okay, and then here on the right side, remember that num is said with a cynical tone of voice. Num, because you're expecting a no, a denial. And none is said with a veracious and truthful tone of voice because you're expecting them to answer yes and affirm what you just said. So, num sunt, if they ask with num, they're expecting a no. If they ask with nona, they're expecting a yes. Okay, but in this right column, you want to respond with the opposite of what they're respecting, because I'm asking for a negative answer. So, num sunt, They are expecting no, but you should respond with a yes. They are, like, or something like that. Okay, so whether, doubtful they are, indeed they are. And then if they are ask no, nay, surely I was not wanting it, expecting a
affirmation.
You weren't wanting it. You'd better respond with, on the contrary, you were wanting it. So what would that be? Give this a try and stop the video and start it again when you're ready to see the answers. And here are the answers. Okay, and if you were able to do that, then that is the hardest stuff I can possibly throw at you for the imperfect tense, and you have succeeded in this chapter if you were able to get most or nearly all of these correct. Of course, if you said something slightly differently, like instead of VOLÄBAS, if you answered NŌLÄBAS with a double negative, that would be correct. But I think a one-word answer is a little bit better. All right, hopefully now you can write all 4 of these irregular verbs: VOLÄBAM, NŌLÄBAM, ERAM, and ஈBAM. There should not be any imperfect word that you cannot say in Latin. So good luck and see you in chapter 20. VOLÄ!